So today I want to talk about the difference between revelation and vision. And I like to say I came up with this, but I didn't. I pride myself on staying around and listening to people who know more than me, who can always elevate me to a higher understanding or way of thinking. So this is how it goes. The difference between revelation and vision are revelation is something you see, it's something that's revealed to you. A vision is something that you have to receive. It's shown to you, but you have to receive it. So I'll give you an example. Jesus dying on the cross, Judgment Day, what's going to happen in Revelation. Those are revelations. Those were going to happen whether or not we believed them, whether or not we accepted them. If we say, you know what, Judgment Day is not happening, it's not going to change the fact that Judgment Day is happening. If we say the things that God prophesied and said are going to happen before the end, wars and rumors of war and all that, it doesn't matter if we accept it, it's going to happen. But a vision is something God shows you, like a revelation, that you have to receive. An example that was given, and I'm going to use some other examples, but the first example that was given was Abraham. He had a revelation and he had a vision. The revelation is you're going to have seed that's going to outnumber the earth, outnumber the stars. You know what I'm saying? And your lineage is going to be established forever. That was a revelation. But the vision was you're going to have a child, because you're not going to have a lineage from some adopted son or someone who is like a son to you. You're going to have a child. And because Abraham and Sarah were up in years, he was like, you know, how am I going to do this? And God's like, she's going to have a child. And so the vision was Abraham had to accept what God was showing him and act on it. He had to say, okay, well, let me go get with Sarah. Let me copulate so we can have a child. God didn't promise an immaculate conception. He didn't promise that a baby was just going to pop out of the ether. Abraham had to act on it. And that's the difference between a revelation and a vision. A vision is something you have to act on. It's something that you have to believe in and accept. So for instance, let's look in Acts 10 with Peter and Cornelius. Cornelius had a vision saying, send 3 men to Peter. Peter had a vision of unclean things that God told him to kill and eat. He said, I can't eat them because they're unclean. And God said, how are you going to say it's unclean when I told you that it's clean? If I say it's clean, it's clean. And he had that vision 3 times. Then the 3 men from Cornelius came to Peter, and Peter realized, wait a minute, I had this vision 3 times, 3 unclean things. Let me talk to them. And after talking to them, they explained, hey, the centurion, our boss, sent for you, and we're supposed to get you and bring you back. And then Peter went with him. Now, the key is to this is at that point, it was unlawful for Peter to go to someone of another nation and be chilling with him. But he went because of the vision. He accepted it. And because of that, everybody in the centurion's home got saved, spoke in tongues, great end of the story. But if Peter did not accept the vision, then he never would have went with those 3 guys. If the centurion Cornelius hadn't accepted the vision, he wouldn't have sent the 3 guys. So Cornelius wasn't going to just get his prayer because he was praying, he was trying to know God, he feared God, but he wasn't going to get the ultimate goal of knowing Jesus if he didn't act on the vision. So the way that works for us is sometimes, and it's a lot of us who are probably in this boat, you don't have what God has shown you because you think it's a revelation. You think it's just going to happen, that it's just going to pop up. God said it, that's it. I'm done. All I got to do is sit and wait for the check in the mail. That's not the way it works. The reason you haven't reached where you're supposed to reach or gone where you're supposed to go or accomplished what God said you're going to accomplish is because he gave you a vision and you thought it was a revelation. Visions require that we receive them, that we believe them, and that we act on them. So if God is giving you something that hasn't come true, God is not messed up. He didn't get it incorrect. You did. You thought you were having a revelation. You were having a vision. And God requires us to act on the vision, to accept. Abraham had to accept. Cornelius had to accept. Peter had to accept. You and I have to accept. Remember, faith without works is dead. And so visions are also matters of faith. We have to act on what we're being told in the faith that what God said is going to happen when we act on it is going to happen. So if you haven't reached where you want to be, if you're having problems between what you believe God is telling you and what is happening, maybe you've mixed up your vision for revelation. It's not going to just happen. It's going to happen once you receive it, believe it, and act on it. Just a thought.